their effort to be, please come right up here with me, in their efforts to be recognizing the diversity in this community, has asked that this proclamation be presented both in English and Spanish. Fortunately, I've been allowed to do the English version, and Lucy is going to do the Spanish version. So I'm going to do the English, then Lucy's going to do the Spanish, and then Sveth is going to speak to us. And when you do that, would you introduce Lucy and give us her background? Okay, so let me do the English one, and here's yours. I should have given you that, Lucy. Have you seen it? Sometimes they like to sneak them up on me. Oh, very good. So you're intimately familiar with it. So, whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that foster a sense of connection and build community, and whereas libraries connect people to technology, providing access to broadband internet, computers, and training that are critical for accessing education and employment opportunities. And whereas libraries offer opportunities for everyone to connect with new ideas and become their best selves through access to resources and programs in multiple physical and digital formats. And whereas today's public library services extend far beyond the four walls of a building. And whereas over the past 2 years, when faced with challenges of a global pandemic, the Sun Prairie Public Library played an invaluable role in supporting the community by immediately pivoting the service model to provide virtual and contact-free services, and following public health recommendations, safely reopened for in-person services, offered book clubs and programming to engage in deep and meaningful conversations about race and social justice, served as a mass distribution and COVID vaccination clinic site, provided regular workforce and rental assistance, equipped study rooms with technology for teleconferencing, and expanded outreach to 4K site senior apartments in underserved areas with Dream Bus mobile library services. And whereas libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the populations they serve, and ensure equity of access for all members of the community, regardless of their dimensions of identity. And whereas over the past year, Sun Prairie Public Library has been actively preparing for the future with an approved conceptual design for an expansion and renovation to serve the next generation of Sun Prairie residents. And whereas libraries are a cornerstone of democracy, promoting the free exchange of information and ideas for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now therefore, I, Paul Esser, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, on behalf of the city of Sun Prairie, hereby supports the city's participation in National Library Week. In witness thereof, I have unto here set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Sun Prairie to be affixed on this, the 15th day of March, 2015. And now, Lucy, if you would do it in Spanish, and then we'll present them.
Proclamación. Considerando que las bibliotecas son lugares accesibles e inclusivos que fomentan un sentido de cohesión y construyen una comunidad, y considerando que las bibliotecas vinculan a las personas con la tecnología, brindando acceso a Internet de banda ancha, computadoras y capacitación, mismos que son fundamentales para acceder a la educación y a oportunidades de empleo, considerando que las bibliotecas ofrecen oportunidades para que toda persona se conecte con nuevas ideas y desarrolle su potencial a través del acceso a recursos y programas en múltiples formatos físicos y digitales, y considerando que hoy en día los servicios de la biblioteca pública se extienden mucho más allá de las 4 paredes de un edificio, considerando que en los últimos 2 años, habiendo enfrentado los desafíos de una pandemia global, la Biblioteca Pública de Sun Prairie desempeñó un invaluable papel en apoyo a la comunidad al cambiar de inmediato el modelo de servicio para brindar servicios virtuales y sin contacto físico, y siguiendo las recomendaciones de salud pública, reabrió sus puertas de manera segura para reanudar los servicios en persona. Ofreció clubes de lectura y programas para entablar conversaciones profundas y significativas acerca de raza y justicia social. Sirvió como un espacio para la distribución de máscaras y como clínica de vacunación contra COVID. Proporcionó asistencia laboral y de alquiler de manera regular, salas de estudio equipadas para teleconferencias con tecnología de alcance ampliado a 4K, apartamentos para personas adultas mayores y áreas desatendidas a través de los servicios de la biblioteca móvil Autobús del Sueño. Y considerando que las bibliotecas se esfuerzan por desarrollar y mantener programas y colecciones que sean tan diversos como las poblaciones a las que sirven y por garantizar la igualdad de acceso para todos los miembros de la comunidad, independientemente de sus elementos de identidad, y considerando que durante el año pasado la Biblioteca Pública de Sun Prairie se ha estado preparando activamente para el futuro, aprobando una expansión y renovación con un diseño conseguido para servir a la próxima generación de residentes de Sun Prairie, y considerando que las bibliotecas son piedras angulares de la democracia que promueven el libre intercambio de información e ideas para todos, y considerando que las bibliotecas, los bibliotecarios y los trabajadores de las bibliotecas se unen a los partidarios y defensores de todo el país para celebrar la Semana Nacional de las Bibliotecas, ahora y por lo tanto, yo, Paul Esser, en virtud de la autoridad que me ha conferido como alcalde, en nombre de la ciudad de Sun Prairie, por el presente, apoyo la participación de la ciudad en la Semana Nacional de la Biblioteca. Semana Nacional de la Biblioteca del 3 al 9 de abril del 2022, en testimonio de lo cual firmo la presente y hago que se coloque el sello de la ciudad de Sun Prairie en este 15 de marzo de 2022.
Thank you, Lucy. So let's us get on either side and we'll present these to her. And then Chris can get our picture. Would you like to say a few words to us?
Sure, I'll say a few words. Well, first of all, thank you so much. Lucy Boyle is on the Library Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee to the Library Board, and I had asked her if she would be willing to translate the proclamation or if she knew anyone that would, and she said, absolutely, I can take care of it. And she obviously did an incredible job, and I know how to say whereas in Spanish now, so that is a good lesson learned. I also want to thank Teresa Stevens. As everyone knows, she is also the Executive Director of the Sun Prairie Public Library Foundation, so she and I worked together on this proclamation. And thank you to Mayor Esser for reading it. I know I gave him a mouthful, but there was so much that we've done, and I'm sure like everyone else, we've been thinking a lot about our lives and how we touch people and what is meaningful to us, and obviously the Sun Prairie Public Library is in my heart, not just because I work there and because I'm the director there, but everyone I meet through the library is incredible, and I had the honor to be here today with Lucy to share information about National Library Week, which isn't until April, but all of you won't be here on during National Library Week, but do visit the library. People do ask how we can best support the library, and I always say, honestly, the best way to support the library is to use the library. It's an amazing place with amazing things and an amazing staff, and I'm just lucky to be part of that experience. So thank you so much.